And a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you may be, to Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, coming to you from our micro streaming studios here on the beautiful island of Corfu in Greece. And should there be any interruption to your broadcast transmission today, please log on to our website at www.StudioKerkyra.com or the video platform Vimeo.com, or indeed good old YouTube, whereupon you will see this broadcast in superb quality HD. And as always, I'm very lucky to be joined near the studio by our producer, Claire Haas, who will be very happy and eager to reply to all your comments on Facebook Live and take your calls live on Skype. But as always, as I say at this point of the show, I am equally very happy to be joined alongside with me in the streaming shuttle today by Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Hello, great. I'm fine. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in again. It's a beautiful day, man. A little bit cloudy, but still warm.
Yes, it's still
so
warm,
the summer is slowly approaching. Hello from here, from Corfu, the beautiful holiday island.
So, it's always beautiful anyway,
I know,
whatever the
beautiful
weather.
thing going on at the moment. But thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in again. And I'm getting already messages here in. Thanks, guys, for taking part. So Margaret Johnson is watching. I will be watching. She said, hi, Margaret. Nice to see you. John Jagger is saying, oh, say hi to Vangelis, Kirsty, and Lydia in Acharabi from Lyon, and Joanne. Yes, so from Lyon, Leon and Joanne, hello to Vangelis, Christy, and Lydia in Acharabi. Karen Morrison is saying, Kalispera Corfu, Kalispera to you, and we have Nikos Louvros watching too. Hi guys, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and as always, we have a full-backed show with more information to give you, and we got a live call today. We should have had Alex Preston today.
Yes, it's very sad, isn't it, Thomas? He's taken a slight turn for the worse. I'm sure he'll be fighting fit very soon. He had a lingering cough. He has unfortunately suffered the effects of COVID-19, and he was rather chirpy the other day. He thought that the disease was winding its way away, and it was just leaving him with a little bit of a cough. But unfortunately today, a little bit under the weather, so we postponed until he's more of his fighting fit self. So we all at StudioKerkyra and all our friends wish Alex Preston a very speedy and full recovery, and we look forward to talking to you very soon, Alex, here on Lockdown SK, when we can and when you feel right and fit to do so.
Definitely. All love to you, Alex, and we hope really you soon feeling better. I mean, it's not easy. I see the Prime Minister got it, and he had it really bad. So, you know, as it's concerns when you hear somebody, a friend of yours, who is suffering, you know, you're concerned straight away. And I mean, we've been shopping again today, and it was the same old story, wasn't it? It's no distancing, it's no masks, it's people. It looked like nothing is going on here.
It was
definitely the same old thing.
Busier than the last time we went a few days ago. Absolutely, Thomas. But the shop we went into is doing their best to try and practice social distancing, I would say. But yes, lockdown. It's not very nice wherever you are in the world. And by the way, Thomas, can I just thank our viewer in lovely, beautiful West Cornwall, Sally Roberts, who contacted the programme yesterday. May have got missed the messages because we have so many that they really overworked poor Thomas and Claire there. But we love hearing from you, so don't hold back, keep them coming. But Sally Roberts made a good point as to why they're not surfing in Cornwall, and that's as a request or almost a demand, a polite demand from the RMLI. They're the lifeboat people who do a fantastic job, simply because they can't guarantee to protect the surfers and swimmers that they would normally hitherto otherwise do. Because of the effects of COVID-19, their services are required elsewhere. So that's the real reason why there's no surfing and swimming on the beautiful beaches of Cornwall. And as you may remember, Thomas, when you were in England, Newquay in North Cornwall has come some of the best surfing beaches in the United Kingdom, but there are other places, of course. But it's a good one, though.
Definitely. I'm getting already a lot of messages in. Thanks, guys, for messaging in. And there's a lot of people already logging on. And today we have a phone call with Peter Pauli from Corfu Tourist, again, because they were putting together a great music video with Paul Fennell and other artists. So this was a collaboration between Corfu and the United Kingdom, and they came up with the song. We got the video here. That's gonna be funny. It's a good one. We watched it. I like it. So
yes,
I think
it's very
it's great.
truthful and good. And we know three of the people involved, don't we, in some small capacity. It's amazing that they managed to produce with good production end quality through collaborating across the internet during lockdown, wherever these gentlemen are, and they're all in different places. So actually, the finished product sounded quite good. But I'm sure you'll be the judge of that, all our viewers and listeners, wherever you are.
Yeah, and I say hello quickly to Vivian, to Richard, to Julia, Steve Ford, Dawn, Peter Pauli, Bandora is watching again. Hi guys, thanks for watching. Lorraine from England is watching. Portsmouth is watching, and Steve is already writing in. Yes, sunbathing in the garden. Life is good on lockdown here. So he's enjoying
1 minute
himself.
It's sunbathing garden, next minute it's a crazy golf course. Fabulous, Steve. Keep them coming. Let us know how you're getting on. We're always good to hear from you.
Yeah, Lorraine saying hi from Portsmouth, hi from Pompey. So yeah, I love Pompey. It's a great city.
You do. You were there for quite some time, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I was in Pompey for 12 years. I loved it there. It's a great city, great history.
Tremendous history with Lord Nelson and beyond that, of course. And of course, Charles Dickens was born there. That's how I came to know about
this is for you. But Charles Dickens, you had the connection there. But you done the readings at the Charles Dickens
I was lucky enough to do them in his birthplace museum. I can't remember the name of the road, but it was left almost as it was when he was there, and it was quite a bit scary performing in the room when there's a portrait of the great man himself, knowing that in the very next door room was the very bed and the room that he was born in all those years ago. But yes, it's a great place, Portsmouth, and of course, that some say the home of the UK Navy, actually the Royal Navy.
Yeah, big Navy boat, a beautiful Navy boat, huge. And I was lucky enough to see the boats in there, and even as photographer back then to work on the HMS Victory and the Warrior. It was great. I love these two boats. Anyway, the historic dockyard is beautiful.
Oh, it is.
And well managed. How well managed it is.
Don't forget, not just HMS Victory, Nelson's great flagship, which is beautifully restored and well worth a visit, I can tell you. But also, there's another ship there called, I must get this right because it was changed its name for a film. HMS Warrior, I think is the correct name.
But
it became something else in a film. In Oscar and Lucinda, it became HMS Leviathan. So I get the two muddled up in my head. But it's a great, the old dockyard, Shed Number 1, I seem to remember.
Shed Number 1.
Great place, Portsmouth, of course. And we say hello to everyone who's watching and listening to us from Bonnie, Portsmouth.
Great. Hey, and here I'm getting messages in. Here, David Roseman is writing, watching you up on the big screen.
Oh, steady, David.
YouTube, steady, great.
Actually, it's not the best day, David, because I'm having a bad hair day, I have to say. So I'm not quite looking at my best, if that's ever possible. But, David, it's absolutely brilliant that we hear from you. You've given us loads of useful information and your good lady as well. Please don't hold back. Keep them coming. It's great to talk to you. And as Thomas has indicated, actually, this digital platform also has another wonderful use, and then it means that all you lovely folk, wherever you are in the world, can keep direct contact with your friends, loved ones, and maybe relatives here on this island of Corfu. So if you're a new viewer to this program, Lockdown SK, and you hear these messages going from one person in England to someone else in Greece, well, that's great, because that means that we're fulfilling one of our purposes.
Yes, we do, and we're getting more messages in. Hello from Vivienne in Ireland.
Vivienne.
She said, hi guys. From how do you pronounce that now? Donegal?
County Donegal, I think.
Donegal.
Yes.
Donegal.
I'm sure Vivienne will correct us.
Correct us if we're wrong. So from us in Donegal, thank you for lifting our spirits every day. No, thank you for logging on. It's great.
But actually, Vivienne, it's the other way around. You and your friend, possibly, who's also in the same place, Jerry O'Dyer, I think it is, and everyone else who writes in and contacts us, you people lift our spirits, I can tell you.
Oh, definitely. And that's something, for lockdown for us is, we can share that lockdown together.
It's wonderful,
that's all about.
Yes,
that,
it is.
Isn't it?
And it's live. That makes it even more real and special, ladies and gentlemen, because we're actually pulling this off. I don't quite know how Thomas and Claire manage it. It's very technically very challenging, but to consider we are doing this live, that's the key thing here. It's a great buzz, and it's wonderful to be able to talk live to all you. And as I keep reminding you, don't hold back. Give us a ring one day on your phone with Skype, because it'd be so nice to have a vocal. You don't have to have a video call. You can do an audio call. It's just as good.
Good. Great, of course. And I'm carrying on with Sally Roberts. Hi from West Cornwall. Sunny but cold and windy today.
Oh.
So Sarah Roseman is watching, Steve Barras is watching. Thanks for tuning in. And David Roseman is saying, don't worry, guys, you both look good.
Well, thank you, David. I won't say you might need to go to a certain optician's. No, that's very nice of you to say that. Thank you. And maybe one day, David and your good lady will be able to meet up. That would be great. In fact, we were talking yesterday about someone had the great suggestion. It was Chris Taberner, who is also a regular contributor to this program, and we thank Chris and his lovely wife Teresa for doing so. But Chris had the wild idea, didn't he, of having a party?
It's a great idea.
Of course. Well, the wild party idea, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. Great idea. Keep them coming, guys. Please keep them coming. It's a fantastic thing. But I just switch over. I think it's time. Quickly.
Right, yes.
Here, I quick want to say hello to Xenia. Xenia, hello. Thanks for watching.
Hi,
and hopefully I can manage to talk to you soon so we can talk together live here on the show. But I'm all eager to show that video now. Peter Pauli, Paul Fennel, and the crew, professional musicians, pulled off and sent over. And that, of course, getting shared all over the platforms, guys. So help sharing that. I think it's great. Let's have a quick look.
You're feeling dejected. You don't know who's safe or who is infected. You can't go out. You gotta stay in. Keep out of the fridge if you wanna stay thin. You gotta get permission to go to the shop. You don't wanna fine if you're stopped by the cops. Now if you don't worry about getting sick, like holding a new roll just makes you look thick. The news is getting heavy. These are dangerous days. When your palms are getting sweaty, you gotta do what they say. Johnny, keep both ends clean. Johnny, keep both ends clean. Don't touch your face if you want to stay safe. Johnny, keep both ends clean. Good morning, Calamera. Now wash your ends. Harry Stowe, you're a sensible man. I've got soap on my water and bug killing gel. I know it's a pie, but you want to stay well. A lot of other people can't get out in the day, so pick up their shopping if you're going that way. Duck it on the doorstep, 2 meters apart. If you get any closer, you're a silly old tart. The news is getting heavy. These are dangerous days. And if your palms are getting sweaty, you gotta do what they say. Johnny, keep both ends clean. Johnny, keep both ends clean. Keep the virus away, wash with soap and a spray. Johnny, keep both ends clean. You know you got to. What?
Well, wasn't that great, Thomas? That was absolutely brilliant.
I loved it. Yeah, that's a great one. I'm just trying to get this all adjusted quickly. But great, what a fantastic video.
Absolutely. And to consider they pulled that off with that production end quality that we've just heard and seen during lockdown and all the limitations that brings, that is truly remarkable. Well done, guys. And most importantly, what a lovely message. What a positive message. They're taking it full on the chin, as it were, with washing your hands and keeping this dreadful COVID-19 at bay, also whilst observing social distancing and lockdown rules. So all round, many congratulations, guys. You pulled off a winner there, I hope. And we were lucky to meet some of those gentlemen. TC, I think, who appeared on the top right-hand box of your screen there just a minute ago, the lead singer of that song. We heard him, didn't we, doing his warm-up for last year's Agio Fest here in Corfu Island. And we also met the main man in the centre there of the screen, Paul Fennel. Yeah. Both very nice chaps and good at what they do. Paul Fennel's a music industry professional, isn't he?
Yeah, of course. He has, and it's I think Roadhouse music is
that's
his
right.
too, so it's great.
Yes,
it's the t-shirt too. If you look at the t-shirt, check the guys out. They're very, very good, and they running Agios Fest every year. It's a music festival. It's a great festival. It goes over a weekend.
Open air.
Open air. It's great, like old times, you know. It really rocked the evening away. Rocked the night
without
away.
the mud. There wasn't much mud there, was there? I don't think this year.
You were obsessed with your mud.
Well, festivals, mud. I don't like mud.
Well.
I'm not into mud. No, that's the reason.
It's a sunny island. That's why it's here so perfect. It's the perfect environment for great concerts, and the guys are doing very, very well. I love what they did.
Absolutely,
so the
great,
video is great, and this was
PC,
Paul,
exactly.
Kev, and beat. So
Yes.
it's great. It's
And it
fantastic.
was
Well done, guys. I'm loving it.
Pete Bowley there, you saw with his Corfu tourist T-shirt there, singing away. He's going to be joining us very soon on a live Skype call, and he's one of the brains behind that, I think, one of the inputters, isn't he, of energy for that. And well done, Pete, and all your friends there, all the Pauls, the Kevs, the TC. Brilliant. I hope I've got remembered everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll stop there.
But it's great, and we're going to have a phone call in a minute with Peter direct. We ask him a little bit about that. But before that, I want to say hello to Lavinia. Lavinia is watching and saying, good afternoon, everybody. I'm feeling a bit calmer today, and I hope everyone is not as cross as yesterday.
Good afternoon, Vinny.
So it's great. Another message I read this then while I talk there. And yes, and John Patsukas is watching. Hi, John. Thanks for watching. Great. Christopher Dabana is tuning in. Hi, Christopher. I hope the shortbreads are getting ready. So it's all. And Dave Roseman is writing in. But I go to these questions after the call with Peter Weising.
Yes.
He is waiting. Let's have a
That'd
look
be
if we
great.
can get him.
Good one.
Here is the ringing going on. Great.
Hello.
And here is the connection. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Are you?
Great,
Hello, Peter.
Fantastic. We just had watched the video with all our viewers out there. It's a great video, Peter. Also, we were smiling. It's left us with a smile. It's great. It is so professionally done. It's fantastic. And the collaboration between you guys in the UK and here in Corfu, it's great.
Yeah. It just light-hearted, but with a serious message. That's what it was about. Everything's been regimental about you can't do this, you can't do that. So I think a couple of weeks ago we had a bit of a chat and sort of said, can we do something? And spoke to Mr. Paul Fennell, who, as you quite rightly said, owns Roadhouse Corfu Music. And he got in contact with TC and then with Kev and the other Paul. And it was great. And let's not forget one person though, and that's let's not forget Nicholas, the guy that supplied some of the video footage and some of the pictures.
Oh, great! Well done.
Just to say, we had permission. We had permission to use all the pictures and images we used before anybody jumps on us.
Nah, nobody should jump now on you. We defend you, mate, definitely. It's a great idea and this lifts the spirits, and that's what it's all about when a community is working together, and you guys showed that perfectly.
It was absolutely perfect. In fact, it would have been perfect a week earlier, but when we decided to do it, originally it was going to be, Johnny, keep your face mask on.
Okay.
And then your good Greek person told us that we weren't to be wearing face masks and gloves, so we literally had to do everything again, redo the video over the weekend.
Oh, so you had to do the whole thing twice.
Yeah,
Blimey.
doesn't matter.
But now it is well worth it. That's a time well spent, and it lifts the spirits a little bit. And musically, fantastic lyrics are great. So now we really got cheered up by it. So well done, and we're gonna spread that video as much as we can, definitely.
That's great, but I mean, just to say, like the professionals behind it, obviously with Paul Fennell, TC, and the boys, I've just cut the video together. Those guys are the professionals. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it so much, and I know they enjoy it as well. Whether Agate Fest will actually happen this year, I think it's supposed to be year 12.
Yeah, it
remains to be seen, which will be a shame. But you know what? It's about staying safe, and we have to think about everybody.
Definitely, well said. Why I got you here now on Skype. How is the situation? How is the whole thing? I mean, we spoke earlier before the show, and I told you I was a little bit disappointed going out today and finding people are not keeping to this social distancing. There is no face masks. There is no. There's nothing. They just carry on as normal, especially in the supermarkets. Adrian and me got a little bit because we waited until we got told to go in. But some of the locals, they don't care. They don't wait. They just run in, and makes it a little bit awkward. Just being out shopping.
Yeah, no, totally different here now. I'd say for nearly a week, there's a queuing system outside the shops. There's only so many people allowed in the shops. You're in most supermarkets, your basket is being wiped with disinfectant and handed to you outside. Some shops have got security guys on as well, just to be safe, I think, to try and keep everybody safe. And there's a lot of social distancing, even queuing in the shops. A lot of them are doing it, but I'm sure the people in England have seen Tesco's have been very good with all these markers all around the shop. And Sainsbury's and that are all doing the same. So it's just, it's getting there now. Thank you.
That sounds very impressive, Peter. Great improvement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big improvement. But obviously, there's always going to be the few. The 60 million of us here, there's always going to be a few. You can't please everybody. But
no, not everybody has the same opinion either. Some are still religious in their beliefs that it's all a media conspiracy, for heaven's sake. Or it's something to do with mobile telephony masts, which I'm not going to mention the name, otherwise I might get into serious trouble.
No, I think the worst thing for everybody is whether you believe or not, but when you start seeing the diverse ages of people that are catching it and have unfortunately lost their lives to it, and also the frontline staff, the NHS, I know they're doing a great job. I'm not taking anything away from them. But also, there's these guys, the bus drivers, the people delivering the mail, the parcels. If it wasn't for all these guys doing this, God, we'd be in a right mess.
Totally, Peter. They're the backbone of the country at the moment, aren't they?
They are, I don't know how many there are. There's a couple of million of them, but they are literally keeping this place moving.
Yes, good for all of those. They're key workers. They're all key workers, really, aren't they?
They're all key workers, yeah. And another thing about the supermarkets here is they started having specific times for key workers, but obviously depending on the shift that doesn't work. So you can be queuing and you're told that if you are a key worker and you've got your pass with you, etc., you're allowed to the front of the queue and you're the next person through the door. So if you come off a shift, you can go home and do it, and you can go home and go to bed, which is brilliant.
Oh, that's a good improvement. So this is the things what changed, what improved, and that's great. But we spoke earlier also about the Easter now. Easter is now over, but you said the people kept to it quite well, actually, to the rules.
Yeah, again, there's always the odd few, but by and by, it was really quiet, really quiet.
So it's not the normal Easter, what we all. Of course, it's not the normal Easter as well. But hey, with your music, with your songs, guys, you brightened the day. It was really great.
Yes, good, very good produced end quality there, and great thought behind it, Peter. To all your colleagues, thank you ever so much indeed. And it was actually quite musical. I thought, well, actually, they're all good performers in their own right. So of course it should be musical. It's just the difficulty through lockdown to achieve something like this. Yeah,
they've been great with doing it all, to be honest. And I mean, as you said, is TC, Paul Fennell, I don't know much about Paul and Kev, but yeah, they're in their own right very well respected. And there's a lot of very well respected musicians on that island, I'll tell you, and you know it.
Yeah, exactly. We know it, and maybe we can arrange something. You never know. We put our heads together when this all is over, Pete, and see what we can come up with.
That would be a great thing, but I just want to say one thing about great people being on the island. I was fortunate enough a few years ago to actually meet one of the guys that was the backbone of designing the original Lotus.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
And he's been living on the island. I'm not going to say where he is.
No.
He's been living on the island. Great old guy. Sat and had a coffee with him, I think, which lasted all day, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, an opportunity like that, I would chat the whole day too, of course.
When you say the original Lotus, are you talking about the Lotus 7, Peter?
Yeah, we're going right back to the early days of Colin Chapman.
Right.
This guy went in there as a trainee, sort of 17 from school, and was very, very clever at what he did with chassis design, etc. Colin took him under his wing and away they went. And he was part of the racing team and brought Europa and Elite and everything up through the ranks with racing and helped Colin to make Lotus where it is today, or what's today is today, however you look at it.
That's interesting. Like
brilliant engineer, Sir Colin Chapman wasn't he? And the Lotus, yes. I mean, what a car! The only car I've gone round a corner, someone else was driving, that I felt like a limpet. It just went. I did a complete right angle turn, just like that. It was an incredible car.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, there you got the right petrol heads now together.
Yeah, we don't get, we're not getting much practice for our petrol headness at the moment under lockdown. So any chance is to talk about classic cars, which reminds me, we lost a great the other day, didn't we, in Sir Stirling Moss, Peter?
Yes, and that was obviously, you know, my passion for historic racing with the sort of stuff that I've done in the past. And I did have the fortunate chance to work with him in the late 90s. And yeah, it is a shame.
So yeah, that was a hard hit because it's a legend. He's the legend. You can. I mean, he never won a world championship, but I think this was not his fault. Nothing to do with his talent. He was so highly talented.
But he did win 40% of all the races that he entered in, including the Mila, that incredibly difficult race in Italy, and he won the British Grand Prix at Aintree, I think, in 1958.
It was in Aintree, yeah, and I believe it was in a 250F Maserati as well. I believe.
Yes, yes. And a real gentleman racer, wasn't he, of the old school? What a perfect gentleman. And here's something else you may or may not know, Peter, which was rather illuminating, I thought. He lived for years in Mayfair, in an apartment, I think. And it was said by many who were lucky enough to visit it that the inside of his Mayfair apartment was like somewhere James Bond would have lived.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Do you know about that?
No, I didn't, but I do remember, wasn't there a case not long ago where, I say not long ago, a few years ago, where it might have been still in the same apartment, where did he fall down a shaft or something?
Yes, a lift shaft. That's right, Peter, he did, yes.
So I'm wondering if it's in that apartment.
Yeah, but what a man.
What a man, yeah sadly to lost, but yeah.
Oh, well, he didn't die of COVID-19, I don't think, did he?
No, he'd been ill for some time.
Yes, that's right. He caught some infection in Singapore in 2016 or something like that, and possibly still suffering from the effects of that, whatever that may be. But the racing world lost a great true legend there. And, of course, he raced with Juan Manuel Fangio, didn't he, I think, in the early days?
He did, yeah. I mean, passionately, because that was the car that, not the Fangio car, but the 250F Piccolo was the one that I worked on for Sir Anthony Bamford in his collection.
Wow, that's exciting, nice. Peter.
Yeah,
getting so close to these cars must be amazing. It's an own world, and I love that world. So, but you know what? Thank you so much for your time, Peter. Thank you so much for doing that video, the music, Bowl, Kev, TC, and the other bowls. Thank you, guys. It's great, and we're gonna share that, of course, because it lifted our mood here, our spirits here at SK, definitely, and to all our viewers. But Peter, great to talk to you again. And hopefully we talk to you soon again.
Yeah, great to talk to you guys. I'd just like to finish myself and just say, stay safe, guys, in Corfu. Obviously, by now we should be there tomorrow, but obviously it's not going to happen now. And obviously all the Easter celebrations, I'm sure people will be sharing some great footage all over Facebook during the weekend. Yeah. I know we will, and I know some of the other guys will be. So just stay safe, stay locked down, and we'll get over it. And you'll be there for us. We're missing you.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. Oh, you know what? But I have, before you go, one more question. I have to ask it now because you just spoke about it. Corfu Tourist, what is a great app, guys. You can download Android or on iOS, and it tells you all about Corfu with maps on it, with location things. It's great. But how does it when you're a business here? How does it affect you now?
Well, it affects us from a number of ways because obviously, we use social media. Corfu Tourist is now the biggest or largest organic social media site on Corfu. Obviously, English speaking, of course. We go literally from New Zealand, South America, all over. It affects us, one, because I'm not there. I'm the driving force behind it. And obviously with all the people that we've met while I was a tourist as well and doing Corfu Tourist. And yeah, with the app, unfortunately it is what it is. It will carry on. It was our third year on the island. We will get on the island eventually. We'll still back and, help all the clients that are on the application. And the idea is to share the love of the island. It isn't about the money. We need the money to keep everything moving, but we've all taken a hit. So it has to be what it is this year. It's about getting people to see the island. 2021 is going to be a great year on the island. Because it's the anniversary of the Greek independence. Yeah. On March the 17th, I believe. There's going to be some amazing things happening on Corfu. So you know what? If you can't make it this year, get on the island for next year and get it booked, because it's going to be a major, big party.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well said, Peter.
Great
Cheers, mate.
said, yeah,
And you,
definitely. And we can brainstorm around a little bit and do the come up with something what we can contribute to next year. So we can always work together. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. And I need this Uzo. Adrian knows me from last year anyway.
Yeah, the Uzo. I haven't forgotten.
Peter, funny you should say that. I have complete amnesia on that subject. I don't know what you're talking about, but as I said on the screen, I'll be delighted to buy you an Uzo when you come back here to this beautiful.
Because I haven't got any here. I've left all mine in Corfu because I didn't know I was going to be stuck here.
I have one more question before you go. Where did you leave it?
What was that?
One more question. Where did you leave it?
Not telling you lot.
Oh, Peter, it was great talking to you. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers,
again.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
All the best to you guys.
And you. Thanks very much for your time, too.
Thank you, Peter. Take care and stay safe, mate.
And you, mate. Bye.
Good old Peter. That was fantastic call there. Peter Bowley from CorfuTourist.com. And I think he's probably phoning us live on Skype from Derbyshire in the United Kingdom.
Yes, and that was right. A very good internet connection.
It was good,
and the call was brilliant. It was fun talking to him. He's a fun guy. He loves the island as much as we do. So it's great, chatting with somebody else who shares the same.
And he's a bit of a petrol head by all accounts.
You don't say.
I think I might do. But I like the idea of the big shindig that's going to be on this fabulous island next year of 2021, when, of course, they have their big celebrations for Greek independence. That will be a big do, and let's hope we can all be free of lockdown and dreadful COVID-19 and be able to let our hair down and party in true Greek vein style. Why not?
Yes, definitely. And I'm just switching over here because I got more messages in from Karen Morrison. Sorry if I missed some messages, guys. I try, and Claire, we try our best to say everything. So say hi to Marina and Akis Fakolas, who work for Sitari Travel. Love and miss you both. And that message comes from Karen Morrison. So Sally Robert said hello. Yes, so far so good. Wow,
that's great. It's lovely that people from around the world can send messages of love and affection to all their friends and loved ones and relatives here on the island, and of course vice versa. So it's a great two-way process, digitally brought to you from StudioKerkyra Lockdown SK. And if you really want to check out what I mean by superb quality, do have a look one day on YouTube or Vimeo.com, or of course our website www.studiokerkyra.com. And can I just say, Vinny, thank you for the bravo comment yesterday. I don't often get these things right, so when I do, it's extra special.
Yeah, that cheers our Adrian up every time.
Indeed so.
But it's very great call. Now,
yes, Peter, great
Peter
call,
was
and
excellent.
Great music video before it. Absolutely, and well done to all the guys.
Yeah, and I get a lot more messages in. One of the messages is from David Roseman. Read some of the he's writing. Read some of the information around easing of restrictions in Greece and picking up on the requirement for travels to Greece to have a certificate starting their clear of infection. Oh. So you have to have a certificate. Mm-hmm. This is obviously something great in some. I can't read that. Bureaucrats, sorry, some bureaucrats' imagination. So he thinks that it's great for in their imagination, where he's probably right. See how that works out. But I think it can't. All it will do is severely restrict tourism to Greece when it most needed. It after it's safe for the country to allow travel. So he's right there. You have these permissions, and I saw something about these permissions today where you have to be cleared. So you have to be checked. You have to get a piece of paper,
right,
physically, with all these test results before you can travel to Greece. So, but I don't know how far that's true now. I don't know how.
And also, when are these certificates going to be issued, and how much time is there between you've got your clean bill of health, as it were, and when you actually go up the stairs to the aeroplane to get here, or you embark on your journey, however it is, to this island of Corfu? We would have to know, and what happens at the other end, this end. Are people going to get physically checked, do you think? We don't know.
No, really. This is, I think, in an article I read. they're getting checked. They have to have this paper, and they're still getting checked on the airport.
Right.
But it's just like David says now. It's gonna restrict
it will
the amount of tourism
yes, it will.
into Greece. Okay, on one side this is a precaution because you don't want to carry that over here anyway.
No.
But you have to. But if they have all the papers, I don't know if that's gonna work. Just
No.
logistically must be a complete nightmare.
Well, they'd have to get the papers from some proper accredited medical practitioner, presumably their doctor or some A&E or something. As you say, Thomas, how could that work in practice? David is probably right there. Sounds good on paper, David, doesn't it? But maybe the implementation is going to be a bit tricky, and it's obviously going to make the journey to Corfu, however you do it, that's just that little bit more fraught. The airlines are warning as well that things cannot immediately turn back to normal when the lockdown gates are lifted. It will take quite some considerable time for the airlines to get their house in order with flights and all the rest of it. So there's going to be quite a lot of areas of confusion and hoops to jump through before maybe you can say, I'm off on my holes and not worry about anything. I think, that's not going to be the case. I think it is going to be a little bit fraught. So we ought to be perhaps prepared for that.
Yeah, and I think is anyway, you have to look at the other countries. How is their restrictions now? No, it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, we ready here, we in Greece, we get your form filled in, get all the paperwork, and you can travel. In the United Kingdom, I can't see that happening for another 4 weeks, to be honest, before they start easing. And you got some things written down to Austria.
Yes, I have. I got some details.
You got some details
yes,
we're going to go through in a second. But I can't believe, it's good to be ready here, and we saw that today. Everybody's working to get their villa, get their apartments ready for the holiday season, get the taverna ready. We saw it again today. They're painting, they're repairing, they're restoring. And in my head is the question, okay, yes, be ready. Definitely gives you something to do. It's great, but don't put all your eggs in one basket.
No, absolutely not. I think you've got to be a little bit pragmatic here. And it's too early to make these calls, quite frankly. A lot of countries haven't had this dreadful pandemic peak as a thing going through the population, have they? We're still away from peaks in various countries, and many other countries are still suffering horribly from COVID-19. Just a few bits of news around the world. Spain is allowing 300,000 non-essential personnel to return to their jobs. France has announced a lockdown extension till the 11th of May. In Austria, as Thomas just mentioned, they're going to reopen thousands of small shops as defined by being under 400 meters squared, and also garden centres, DIY stores, and of course, wearing of face masks there is mandatory. In Italy, they're going to allow a narrow range of firms to resume work today, would you believe? And I think it's bookshops, stationers, and shops that sell children's clothes. And Denmark is planning to reopen schools for younger children, also today or tomorrow, very imminently as well. Germany is having some big high-powered meetings today with the Chancellor. We don't quite know the result of that yet. So
there's a lot of things. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. It is, what this is, each country is again on their own, how they cope with it, how they handle the whole situation. And there is simply, again, a disconnect between all the countries. I got messages here. The restriction is on the virus entering Greece, Nikos Louros says. So it's a good one.
Good one,
Nico. Jackie Cherry is commenting, going anywhere abroad as if it is. No, it's all done by antibodies.
Yes, the antibody
testing. So you need that. Thank you, Jackie, for antibody testing. That's the
good
one thing. And that certificate you should have, no? Antibody testing certificate. Okay, where do you get this done? How many can they do? How quick does it go to have that?
I have no idea, but the antibody test is the same thing as checking for if you've been asymptomatic. So it will tell you whether you've had indeed the disease in the past and not realized it, or perhaps more importantly, whether you've still got it, not infectious yourself, but at risk of passing on the infection to others. That's the crucial bit there. But that's a very good point, Thomas. How and where would that come about?
Yeah. Where do you get it? Who is capitalizing on that one? You know what? It's the tourists, somehow they have to make their money back. So they're going to come up with some ideas where we're all going to war. But you know what? Nikos Louros is totally right. Tourism should start when it's absolutely safe.
That's
the thing. definitely is spot on.
Totally.
And there we have to measure that. Okay, maybe Greece, because they responded, this government responded so fantastically to this crisis, that why we don't see the impact other countries see.
We're touching wood.
Touching, yeah. So easing these restrictions now are gonna, hopefully we're not catching up then with others.
That's what they're worried about, and I don't think they want to release lockdown conditions anytime soon until they're absolutely certain.
Yeah.
But the Greek Prime Minister, he did stop all carnivals very early on, 27th of February, I believe. And let's hope that lockdown, I think schools are definitely closed until the 10th of May. So I doubt very much if there's going to be much change in general lockdown until then. But we are due an announcement in a few days' time, I would dare say, or maybe a week's time.
Yeah. So we're going to see, 27th, they said they're going to reassess that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out what it is. So it depends if people keep to this travel ban now, and if this can be enforced like they want to enforce it. So this is another question. But I got other things here. David Roseman is writing, apparently the first business to be allowed to open will be the hairdresser, so at least you can all look good again.
Great, yes.
What do you mean again?
That's a good... Well, your hair's always fantastic. You had a experience with the hair care world many moons ago, Thomas, didn't you? So maybe that might explain why your hair overshines everything else about your good self. Apart from, it keeps your brain warm, and you need your brains to do all this fantastic digital live streaming that you do. But that's a good point about hairdressers. Yes, I think hairdressers are one of the small shops in Austria that might be opening up as well, and restaurants they're thinking about in a week or two's time.
Yes, they're promising it. I'm not promising, they're saying so in a week or 2 weeks' time we look into if we can open the restaurants up. But now they have to restock. Now they have to get materials in. This is why hardware stores and so smaller ones, local ones are opening. And as you said, this is less than 400 square meter. So what shops allowed to open? What they do is now transferring that, what Christopher Dabana said once, shop local.
And he was so right.
Yeah, but that's what Austria is doing now, with opening all the small shops locally everywhere. So people don't have to drive stupid distances to get what they need to restock. So it all comes for shop local. And I think that's great. That's exactly how it's laid out, and it works. And it supports everybody within their community. And that's how it should be.
Really.
Yes, couldn't be better. No.
One thing that stood out to me in the papers the other day was a couple in England who had travelled all the way from Middlesex going to spend a day in the Lake District in Cumbria. And would you believe it's a 500-mile trip? They got as far, a round trip, I think, they got as far as Lancashire before they got stopped by the police and sent home.
Wow.
I mean, but it's good to hear what Peter Bowley said earlier on, that by and large, people in the United Kingdom did observe the Easter long weekend lockdown. So fair play to them, and that is paying maximum respect to all the key workers, all the frontline medical staff, all of those wonderful people who are risking their every day, their lives in whatever capacity it is. Picking up on one other point, Thomas, the infrastructure, I was seeing some video from a guy called Jeff Taylor from the British Road Haulers Association. He's written to the government. He's extremely concerned that the industry in Britain is about to collapse completely, because 85% of the road haulage industry in England is, UK I should say, is run by self-employed drivers. Most of them have been stood down by their big firms, and he's worried that there will be a chronic shortage of delivery options available after lockdown finishes. So that's a ticking time bomb, perhaps. Road haulage is incredibly important to the United Kingdom with the free flowing of goods. It really is. That's a conundrum at the moment that is being faced. The other conundrum, which is on a different subject, also in the United Kingdom, is the chronic worries about care homes. Yesterday, the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, said there were just 92 new cases of COVID-19 in one day in care homes, a staggering 2,300 at the moment reported infections across the UK. So I think they're very concerned. Some big charities, the Mary Curie Trust, Alzheimer's Society and Independent Age, I think, got together to write a letter to the Department of Health, worrying about the ticking time bomb that is in care homes across the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and there were a lot of news about care homes the last 24 hours, and this looks really, really terrible. Just one quick thing. If you guys experience any problems watching us on Facebook, because Facebook is restricting the bandwidth a little bit, you can always go over to www.StudioKerkyra.com we got the live show, as we got the show live there on a different player, on our own label player, running in high definition on our website. That is www.StudioKerkyra.com. Exactly what's on the bottom of the screen, and there you can watch it uninterrupted. Facebook got some problems. It's a lot of usage, it's a lot of bandwidth, and they start experiencing, a lot of people start experiencing problems watching something, just to let you know.
That's true. Good point, Thomas, to remind everybody that. And it was 3 big firms, wasn't it? It was Facebook, Netflix, and Amazon Prime all promised various governments that they would reduce their capacity by 25%, or the quality by 25%, allowing for the extra growth in traffic, because everybody's stuck at home. Of course, internet usage has shot through the roof, and I dare say that Facebook numbers have gone up as well, because everybody wants to stay in touch, obviously, and
of course,
Facebook and all these other social media platforms provide an absolute essential tool to do so. Mind you, of course, the real only daily tool you really need is StudioKerkyra and Lockdown SK. I have to say that, don't I, ladies and gentlemen? You're probably thinking, yeah, you're not wrong there at all. Yeah, I get the analogy. Okay, folks, put my hand up. But no, seriously, this is your digital platform to keep in touch with all your friends and loved ones in Corfu, and vice versa if you're on Corfu, or your loved ones all around the world. We can come in and help you do that direct.
Definitely. And you know what, I have one message I forgot yesterday, and I saw this in afterwards. This is Lynette Bertel is writing in, love your show, guys. She's from Afionas on the island originally, but now in Germany. Was supposed to fly back on the 22nd of March, but the flights got cancelled. Hope to get back to my home and to my dog. Thanks goodness I have a good friend taking care of my dog and my home. So big shout out to you, to your friend, looking after your house and your dog. That's great. You see, this is friends. You see, in times like this, you see who your friends are.
And her great message, actually. Thank you ever so much for watching and for sending us that message. But that message prompted me to say that maybe there are lots of other people who have got second homes here, or other homes here, or have got pets and animals around them, and they may have a problem. If you do have any sort of problem or concerns or worries, why don't drop us a line? You can write us an email at inbox@StudioKerkyra.com, or message us live on Facebook, or any other means. Pick up the phone for Skype, and we could try and help you solve your difficulties or worries. We'd find a person who could help, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And here, Jack is writing in, so how will that affect us if we had no contact with the virus? That's then down, for antibodies. How can you do it with antibodies when you have no contact with the virus? What is with the antibodies about anyway? I don't understand.
It's about the immune system.
Yeah,
you see, we said right at the beginning of these programs that the medical community right across the world is not 100% au fait, as it were, with every single aspect of COVID-19. Do you remember that one of the delays in finding a vaccine was that they were still struggling to separate its DNA? It's SARS, but turbocharged SARS. That's why it's proving so difficult. The point about the antibody test is that it will show up whether you have at any time in your recent past had this dreadful infection, or if you've got it silently within you at the moment and you don't know about it. That's the real worry, you see, because if you have got it and you don't know about it and you go about your merry way on a daily basis, think of all the people that are around you. Some of those with a weaker immune system to your good self are then much more likely to catch this virus. That's what it's really all about. And the only 100% effective test that protects as many people as possible is this antibody test, and it shows up the asymptomatic symptoms that our good nurse friend in LA, Andrea, was telling us about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but in my head now, okay, you got the antibodies, the antibody testing going on. That's right. But correct me if I'm wrong. But if I haven't had the virus, I had no contact with it, how can I have now the antibody test done? So how does this work? There's a disconnect in my head,
Okay, surely,
okay, if I have it and I have the test done, I through the sickness, I built the antibodies. for my recovery process. Or I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, it's not the same for everybody, Thomas. That's the problem, isn't it? We haven't all got identical immune systems. We're all different.
Yeah.
And we know from the Prime Minister himself, who was in the best possible medical care, and he made a big point of thanking all the staff, a New Zealand lady nurse and a Portuguese gentleman nurse who stayed awake and looked after him for the crucial 48-hour period. The key thing I'm trying to get to is that he's out of intensive care. He's resting at Chequers, the official residence of the Prime Minister in the United Kingdom. However, everybody is saying the same thing. It's going to be some long time before he's able to resume the full office of state. It's a slow convalescence. And today we've been reminded from our friend Alex Preston, who just a couple of days ago, he was chatting to me on an email, and he was suggesting that he was feeling good and he just had this little niggling cough, and a couple of days better he'd be fine. But today it's, I must say it's come back, but he's feeling under the weather. So it could always be a sting in the tail with these things. It's not over until it's over, I'm afraid. And it's tempting sometimes to make a rash call, only to come back and bite you somewhere where you don't want it to be bitten. So, as it were.
No, definitely no. It's all, I'm just asking before I genuinely don't know.
Well, I think
I want to know the
crucial
answer, and maybe somebody out there is a health professional and can let us know, give us more details about it. How is the process? What does it mean? Antibodies. What is antibody testing exactly?
It's how many
about?
Your white blood cells.
But if I haven't contracted the virus or the
but how do you know you haven't contracted it? You don't know until you've had a test. That's the point. And that's why we said this line many times on Lockdown SK. We've said the line that we'll never know the full infection rate until everybody, if it was possible for everyone to be tested, and quite honestly I don't suppose it is, but certainly more testing needs to be done. And as we also have learned along the way, there's testing and there's testing. This isn't a quick test to see whether you've got an antibody, COVID-19. This is a proper test for antibodies to see how your immune system is responding at the present. Have you had the disease in the past, or most importantly, have you got it silently now without realizing?
So, and if I don't have it at all, I still can do the test, and
yes, it would show up that you
show up
got
as
it,
my health, my immune system is strong enough to cope with it. So it is the antibodies I have already. That's the your immune. It's a check of your immune system.
Yes.
Are you strong enough, or you fall into the danger category?
Yes, absolutely. So it's the most effective test that could be possibly available. The only thing is that a bit of a conundrum in my head is that when you take this full-blown antibody test, and depending on how long it takes for the results to come back, how long is it that you're going to be free from an unexpected infection? You get this certificate that we were talking about earlier on, thanks to David, our viewer there. What's the difference between getting your certificate, the time difference, and then getting on either a plane or a ship or however else you're going to get here? I don't know the answer to that.
But okay, I've got a comment in from David Roseman. David is saying the only concrete proof will be in the future when you can have a certificate showing you have been vaccinated.
That's the key word there, David. Vaccination. Exactly. Well done. Exactly. They said that right, didn't they, from the World Health Organization, right from the beginning? It will never get anywhere, this dreadful disease, until there is a proper, effective vaccination.
But what struck me always, also now, is I watch the World Health Organization. They do broadcast daily, they give an update daily. And when I look at the beginning of the whole thing, the World Health Organization was a little bit more relaxed in their response, giving the urgency was missing in there.
Well,
where other countries were more urgency behind it. I think they saw what was coming. And when I look now at it, it's exactly the opposite. Now some of the countries are relaxing more, but when you listen to the World Health Organization, to some live updates they give, they're really concerned about relaxing the restrictions.
They are. They keep warning about that every day, about not being off your guard, letting your guard down and relaxing lockdown too soon. I think the area that they came in for most intense criticism, early days, this is the World Health Organization, was their reluctance to call a pandemic. There were a lot of scientific voices urging them to call a pandemic, I believe early March or maybe even the end of February. They did not do that. For whatever reason, I don't know.
I mean, Trump got criticized in the last press conference, and she from CNN, she was really laying into him. It was all about his response, and up to the 17th of January, his response was was
March.
quite okay.
No, he was up to.
But yes, but then she said in the period of February,
right,
there's nothing.
Okay,
and she's right. So in the period of February, the United Government has not responded really to anything, or nothing came out. And then in March, all of a sudden, slowly they started taking that serious. But first he says in January, on the 17th, there was the statement, yes, you know how serious it is, and it can go, we have to watch it. Yeah. And then February is quiet.
Yes.
And then March he wants to,
well, apparently January the 23rd to the 26th, they were having private meetings. Everyone else was excluded, apart from the president and a few scientific people, and maybe one or two political aides. Absolutely, certainly no journalists and no other politicians. They had at least 2 full-blown private meetings. This is the end of January, and as Thomas has correctly pointed out, it went quiet in February. And actually, after that, President Trump was almost saying, "Oh, it's a bit of flu; it will go away."
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'll tell you when things changed, Thomas. We pinpointed it here on Lockdown SK was when, out of the blue, somewhere around mid-March, he suddenly admitted that his friend had gone down with it. His friend of long standing, it turns out it's a real estate developer from Manhattan, good old New York City. His friend developed symptoms on the Thursday. President Trump tweeted about it, I think, at the weekend. And then after the weekend, all of a sudden, to President Trump's horror and surprise, his friend was rushed into intensive care. It went quiet. No news came out. And then I learned in the press conference that Thomas has just alluded to yesterday, all 1.5 hours of it, President Trump actually admitted his good friend of many years standing, Stanley, had died of COVID-19. And I think it takes a personal, close tragedy to really galvanize that mind and that spirit. And I'm sure that since his friend went into intensive care in the United States, he took the whole thing very seriously indeed.
Definitely, and I think this is a wake-up call, but it's always the same story. Something has to happen before you take it serious, and that's a little bit sad. If you just, give them a benefit of the doubt, the scientists say, if they say, it's getting nasty, I'll listen. And I know, it's a problem when a businessman runs a country. No, he's not running a country, he's running a big business in his head. That's old, it's the disconnect, what's there. And hey, but we're getting great comments in. Thanks, guys, for taking part. Thanks for sending us your comments in. I still got some pictures for you.
Oh, great.
Great pictures, and they're gonna go. And here, Melita is, well, I said about cooking
Melita.
show. Melita is watching. Hi, Melita. Great to see you. And she says, "Hi, just saw your comment on Nico's post about a cooking show and totally agree. Bring it on. Come on, Corfu chefs and chefettes." Yes.
Brilliant. Yeah, good one with the chefettes. Absolutely.
It's great, and they're exactly right. We were speaking earlier, Nikos and me. So
we're always talking about food at some point or other. No doubt you're going to make us all salivate, Thomas, what you're going to show on screen, perhaps.
Do I? No, I see some pictures Nikos Luvos sent us in for today.
There we go.
And here we go. And let me just say, it's broad beans, freshly stewed in tomato, onion, garlic, and potatoes. It's the health is an easy and healthy meal to cook and perfect for the fasting time. So Nico Lupos, thank you very much.
Looks very tasty, doesn't it? And nicely presented, and colourful as well.
Look
that's
at
the cooking.
That's where he was cooking today. So and I took this picture. So Nikos, you're making us hungry.
You are indeed.
What a beautiful look at that. That's why I say he's a proper chef. Look, I would. Wow, man.
Yes, we can't wait to try the delicious food. It looks so nice. And I take it that's the potato top right.
Top right, that's the potato.
Great.
Yeah.
Well done, Nico.
And it's vegan friendly.
Yes,
it's definitely vegan friendly and vegetarian.
Fantastic.
So it's a fantastic thing. So that's the stuff people can look forward to.
There's only one word we can say to that, isn't there, to Nico and Annabelle there in North London, and love and best wishes to you both, by the way, and thank you for being such stalwart contributors to the programme. Can we all say at StudioKerkyra, Kalorexy?
God, definitely Kalorexy, and thank you so much, Nikos. Great pictures and great, that looks fantastic. But you know what, is again over an hour, and that's all we have time for today. Guys, thank you so much for sending in the great messages, the great comments. Keep them coming. If I missed anything, I apologize. I can't see it. I'm Claire couldn't log on from the inside. She had a problem logging on inside. So we have there, and we are now when the 4G is working. The broadband here has a little bit of a problem. But guys, it was great. I get more messages in.
You
And
love it, really.
It was an epidemic and became a pandemic when it spread in more than 10 countries or so. Nikos Lubos, that's right.
Okay, yes.
Somebody
yes.
was talking about this
Thank
is
you,
an
Nico.
epidemic. Oh, no, it's not. It's a pandemic now because it's more than 10
yes,
countries, isn't
but
it?
the criticism that the World Health Organization had back then was that they were slow to call it a pandemic. Thank you for providing us with the technical definition. Maybe the ones that were criticizing the World Health Organization for calling an early pandemic weren't taking into consideration the number of countries, or simply they were looking at the numbers of deaths or infected cases. I can't be sure of the answer to that, but that was what most of the heat of criticism around the WHO at that time was.
Yeah.
And I think that does make a difference to how countries can legally deal with the situation. I think it makes a few major differences.
Cool. Thank you for that one.
Yes, Thomas,
Yeah,
I'll save
okay.
some good news till tomorrow because I've got a
Okay,
really
you got
good
good news.
story
You want to fit
tomorrow.
them in?
No,
You want
I'm
to do
gonna-
them today?
I'm gonna save
I
it
don't
tomorrow.
mind. I don't mind. It's
I'm
up
gonna
to
save
you.
it tomorrow. Well,
I'm happy
all
if you
right
fit them
then.
in
Go
today.
on, let's
So
have
fit
it.
them in.
Let's-
Come on.
let's
Good
leave
news
on-
is always
let's
nice
leave
news,
it on
you know?
good news,
And that's what
yes.
we love. Let's leave it on a good news story.
Yeah,
Perfect.
well,
Yes, go on.
It's following on from what we were talking about yesterday and the day before. Do you remember Dimitri in the pizzeria in Chicago in the United States? He's making acrylic sheets into face masks and headgear for NHS workers, and so by keeping his staff on. Well, there's a new initiative in Wales, which is from a TV production company, would you believe, called Bad Wolf, and they're using their 3D printers. Good one, well done from Xenia for mentioning that a few weeks ago. And the TV series that they're producing is by Philip Pullman, and it's called His Dark Materials. I don't know it. I've not heard of it.
Ooh.
But apparently they're making head visors, and you'll be pleased to know that they've already made 50 pieces of PPE, gone to the University Hospital in Cardiff of Wales. 150 volunteers are involved.
Wow.
And they raised £47,000 on a crowdfunding site to buy the materials. But also, here's a good bit, the costume department, the same firm, Bad Wolf Productions, the people who are responsible for costuming such illustrious television production company series as Downton Abbey, Sex Education and Poldark, would you believe?
Wow.
They're very busy making scrubs, I do believe. I can't read my own writing here.
I got caught out.
No, tabards. They're doing clothing for the frontline.
The frontline thing. So they do great. They do the gowns for the frontline.
The gowns,
stuff.
that's right. University Hospital of Wales and Swansea's Morriston Hospital. And they've already made loads already. So fair play to them. In fact, they made 6,500 medical scrubs, would you believe?
6,500 medical scrubs. Wow, well done to them.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic story.
It's good, isn't it? It's lovely to hear recycling, upcycling, change of use. You know, we thought
Adapting.
about pizza. Adapting, exactly. And collaborating, which is the key word, isn't it, Thomas?
Definitely. And that was a fantastic story. That was a great, happy story. And this is how I like to end our show, man.
Got to go on a bang, haven't you?
Go. Of course we have to.
Oh,
no
bang. I'm thinking of bangers and mash now, seeing Nico's food there. Sorry, vegetarians and vegans, I've let the side down.
What?
Bit of HP sauce. Now you're talking. or trucker
mash.
sauce, I should say. Brown sauce, either way. I like a bit of brown sauce.
Yeah, with a couple of roasted onions on top.
Oh, why not?
And
Absolutely.
a good gravy, mate.
Yeah, I'm getting really hungry now. Stop it.
But, okay, as we say, we love to end on a happy note here in the studio. Lockdown, SK Live from the beautiful holiday island of Corfu. Guys, thank you so much for writing in. Thank you so much for tuning in, sending us the comments constantly, and also let us things know, ask us questions. That's great. If you missed anything, I apologize. If there's anything you want to let us know or tell us, write to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. And if you're really brave enough and say, no, I want to chat with you guys, go on to Skype and call us with video or audio call live. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in and commenting and supporting us here at Studio Kerkyra. Until tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. For me, it's a beautiful good evening to you.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, stay safe and a very good afternoon to you all, wherever you are.